Hey, Onks and Lee.
Hi.
Just spent the last 2 weeks trying to get back into Patreon account after switching phones so I could get my extra weekly dose of tea time back. Thank you. Word to the wise. Never sign up for anything with a Facebook login because it's a damn nightmare when it stops working for no reason. Almost lost my credit for turning on. Okay.
Okay, honey.
All right.
Okay.
Listening to Gabby and Harper rant about how garbage doctors are in the last episode had me laughing so hard. I had to write in for this one because pretty much my entire life I've dealt with one shitty, sexist, arrogant doctor after the next, ignoring my medical concerns and making me feel like a crazy ass bitch instead of doing their literal job. This was written by a woman. Okay, of course. Because of course. I've had ongoing health issues since I was an infant, beginning around 2 years old when I began getting chronic UTIs. Okay, I don't know. Isn't there something to do with like sexual abuse and kids? I don't know your story, but like, isn't it a thing if like little girls are constantly getting UTIs, it means they're being sexually abused?
Yeah.
That's a thing, right?
That can be a thing.
Not saying that you were, but that is a thing. Like that's a sign.
I would get them a lot, but I was like kind of a nasty bitch, and I was always like playing in the mud
like
and
putting
shit.
stuff in your pussy.
No, but I was like always like making like mud castles and shit.
Well, you're
And I was
getting
always-
in your pussy.
No,
Well, then how are you getting UTIs?
well, I wasn't putting it in my pussy.
Well, you're getting UTIs,
but I'm like
so
sitting
somehow
on
it's-
it.
Yeah, okay, so it's in your pussy. Whether you want to say you're directly putting it in your pussy or not, it's
I'm gonna say
in
that
your
this
pussy.
energy is unlikable.
It says many children who hold urine too long or
Oh.
don't relax fully when urinating or don't empty their bladder.
'Cause
So
they
I
have, like,
so I
little-
just made a hefty
little-
accusation.
Little baby stress. But
Yeah.
I swear to God, I thought I had
There's
heard
a
that
thing,
too.
right?
Yeah. And we are scientists, so maybe we are
when I was little, I had worms in my butthole. And now that is not a result of sexual
So
abuse.
how are you gonna sit
When you
here?
were little,
Yeah, I got worms in my asshole. We talked about this
Gabby!
on here.
I don't remember.
I don't.
No,
I don't like,
you
I don't like how you went
didn't.
like you went like this when I said that. You went. He like lifted his eyebrow, gave me a little wink.
Ew, Lee,
Did you
you're
have
being
worms?
weird this episode. Stop being fucking annoying.
We've talked about this on here. Yeah, when I was little, I had worms. And
Ew.
yeah, because I would play in the dirt, and then I would like
Did you have worms?
Oh, you would eat it?
I would chew my finger. I would bite my fingernails. So you're getting all that shit.
Bunky, no.
Yeah. And then I got these little. My asshole was just itching so much when I was little. I remember it was just this itchy asshole. And
You always have
I've
asshole
I've
problems.
always had asshole problems, and
And this is why you're not an anal girl.
I'll never be an anal girl. And I swear, and my mom had they come out at night. The worms literally come out of your asshole at night.
Gabrielle.
And when I was little, my mom had to come into my asshole. She had to pry open my little asshole and like look in my ass to see the
Shut
worms.
the fuck up.
Yeah. And then she saw them and was like, yeah, she's got worms. So
Oh,
then
you
I had
have
to be,
demons, bitch. That is wild.
Yeah. So I had to be put on medication. I remember I had to drink it with orange juice because the worms come out
Oh
at
my
night.
God. Well, that thing that I just sent you, you should do that now, to be honest. The papaya where you scoop out the seeds and then it like flushes out all like the
Oh,
parasites.
it's great. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Worms come out at night.
yeah, the worms quite literally come out at night. They're playing field hockey in your asshole. They're playing,
That's fucking insane.
yeah, they're out there playing fucking, I don't know, hopscotch.
Okay,
Fucking
let's get back to the story.
night
I can't.
crawlers.
Yeah,
fucking
night
every
crawlers.
day over
Crazy.
here.
Mom pries open my little asshole and sees those little worms having a party.
Ew.
All right. Anyway. Okay, so you got UTIs. They progressively got worse over the years to the point where I would have them almost monthly or just wouldn't go away with treatment.
Mm.
It was until I got older and realized how bad the mass amounts of antibiotics I was constantly being put on were.
It's like bad for your liver. and
So
shit.
bad. That it dawned on me that they probably weren't working for me at all anymore because I developed a resistance to them.
Mm.
When I expressed concern about this to my longtime doctor at 18 years old and asked what could possibly make me so prone to UTIs, she scoffed at me. She's a woman too, it sucks. She scoffed at me and told me I was a hypochondriac and insisted that I was really just depressed and needed to get back on my antidepressants, which I'd been prescribed at 14 and hadn't been on in 2 years at that point. Wow. Fuck her.
Ew.
I know. I was baffled that she was actually suggesting depression was causing the problems with my bladder, or worse, that I was making it up despite years of positive tests to prove otherwise. I tried to explain how my mother also had chronic UTIs her whole life and how I knew no one my age who had issues with this. Most had never even had one. She just continued to ignore my concerns that something bigger might be wrong. Then a few weeks later, I had just clocked into work and not even a half hour into my shift, I was running a high fever, was extremely nauseous, and when I went to pee, experienced the most excruciating pain as I pissed out what looked like 2 tiny pieces of raw chicken. Shut
Okay.
the fuck up.
Okay.
Did you have, was it
What?
kidney stones?
Oh my fucking
Whoa!
God. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I grabbed a solo cup, scooped them out at the toilet, and called my mom immediately to take me to the ER. This story has me on the edge of my
I
fucking
know.
seat. At this point, I was thinking I had a kidney infection or bladder stones because what the fuck just came out of me? And at this time, when I saw the doctor, I had proof. I had the proof I'd scooped up right there in the cup with me. Haha, bitch. Turned out it was my literal bladder lining shedding because it was so damaged and inflamed from years of infections.
Oh, honey.
My
Oh
dad
my
called to demand
God.
my primary physician be changed. Be fucking fired. Fired.
It's so hard to get a doctor fired though, just like a cop.
This is hard. This is fucking intense. My dad called to demand my primary physician be changed, and my new doctor was actually pretty wonderful. She was shocked that my previous physician had never ordered any additional testing because she told me that more than one UTI in a 6-month period was cause for major concern, and yet my medical history indicated that 1 to 2 positive lab results a month for the last 2 years. For the last maybe last year's. She ordered multiple tests to check for cancer and other growths in which nothing was found. So we worked on a plan to treat holistically and even take more preventative measures than I was already on at the time. I at least felt like I was being heard finally and working towards answers, but then my new doctor suddenly was never available. Oh, God. When I called to schedule appointments. And after 2 months of being unable to reach her, what the?
What the fuck?
2 months of being able to unreach her and being told she had no availability, I found out she was no longer with Kaiser. What the fuck?
Of course this is Kaiser. Of course.
You gotta go to Cedars. The UTIs
Shut the fuck up,
were
bitch.
probably... That sucks, dude. How aggravating. Oh, God. The UTIs were probably the condition most affecting my quality of life, but there were others too, like how I regularly passed out.
Oh.
It'd come in episodes. The first at 10 years old when I passed out multiple times in a week and was told I was anemic. Then at 16, I passed out 5 times in less than an hour, in less than half an hour. Lost my motor function and my speech was coming out in the wrong order.
Oh, honey.
Like in a dyslexic way, you could say, oh, okay, so it's giving exorcist. That's when I found out I was not anemic, but turns out when they tested my blood pressure, my diastolic, okay. Diastolic, which isn't supposed to fluctuate much, was rapidly changing from laying down to sitting and standing and moving, causing a lack of oxygen to my brain. They also did blood tests that showed my thyroid count was extremely high. They kept retesting, and each time the result was higher than the previous. Jesus.
Diastolic is blood pressure.
Okay.
Okay.
Then one day they told me I was good, and when I asked what was wrong, they said it was nothing to be concerned about at my age. Oh my, you're just being fucking gaslit by all of these professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off. Years later, I started to get crazy rashes all over my body that itched and hurt so bad. My boyfriend was getting them as well at first, and we had just been on a hike before it started, so we assumed poison oak or something, but my rashes were different than his, appearing like hives sometimes, then almost like cuts or gnarly scratches other times, even though I wasn't scratching. His rash was only on his legs, and mine was all over my body. Then his went away after a few days, but mine didn't. I made an appointment with my newest doctor about after 2 weeks of this, and she insisted it was allergies, even though it was wintertime and not like any sinus-related allergies I'd had before. Dude, this is so frustrating. After months of this, I pressed her again and again. The rashes were worse. They happened all the time, no matter where I was, what foods and care products I cut out of my diet, etc. There was no logical reason, and the only trigger I knew for certain was that any sort of pressure on my skin could set off the rashing, like leaning on an elbow and crossing my legs. Finally, after a year, I was referred to an immunologist who determined I had health problems. Oh no, who determined I had a condition called dermatographic urticaria,
Whoa.
also known as skin writing.
What?
Whoa, this is some Harry Potter shit.
Oh my God.
It was at this point I found out all my health problems were connected, and my doctors had all known this. What?
What?
Skin writing? Dude, my
That
immunologist,
sounds like something out of like a fucking like
horror movie.
Yeah.
My immunologist told me I had an autoimmune disorder, and that is why my whole life I had random health conditions that seemed to have no cause. Some conditions could last a short time, for some years, and some lifelong. That's why my thyroid count suddenly wasn't a problem to them, because I have hyperthyroidism that comes and goes. All my health problems rooted from this predisposition caused by the autoimmune disorder, but new symptoms can pop up anytime after certain trauma triggers. Stress, contacts with irritants like mold, poisonous plants, sickness like a cold, flu, medications, etc. Obviously, finding out I had an autoimmune issues is not good news, but at least it explained all these health problems I had been battling my whole life. I was relieved, but also furious, knowing that some sort of clarity and peace of mind could have been provided to me for years if just one doctor had cared enough to explain things to me or actually listen to my concerns without the constant fight.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. There are so many other conditions I've had that were ignored that are too many to number in this novel I've already written.
So look at skin writing real quick.
She sent pictures too
Oh, really? Of herself or of
of
Google?
herself.
Oh my
Holy shit.
God.
Holy shit.
So like,
This is like demonic
like
looking.
look at like on her leg.
So you guys, it looks like if anyone ever saw that Amy Adams like Dark Objects or whatever it is, where she like cut her whole entire body. There's a bunch of markings on the flesh that looks like as if someone took like a razor. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh my God. I am so
Some
sorry,
of the
love.
ones that like are skin writing is like artwork, I think, but
No, that's probably the real disease.
they're like something
Here's
like
some-
that, like scratches.
That is awful.
It looks like a bunch
It
of
looks
scratches.
barbaric.
God,
It's
it's horrible.
yeah.
Okay.
Like you got into like a fight in the cafeteria.
Blah, 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 blah. Not to say, okay, hold on. This novel I've already written, but I've learned that being persistent and oftentimes a bitch is literally the only way to get what you need in our lousy medical field.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, you have to fucking push.
Yeah, you do.
And it's really hard when they're like, no, you're fine. And you're like, no, but I know that there's something wrong because this is my body and there's something wrong.
It's just so hard too when like, again, like what we've already touched on, when like you're putting your trust into these people that are
Yes.
like study for years.
Not to say
Oy vey.
Not to say that there are not good doctors out there, but more often than not, most are just pushing pharmaceuticals or dismissing you outright for being too young, having mental health problems, or just being a woman or POC. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I know that there are so many others who have dealt with this and probably have way worse stories to share on it. Not enough people realize how discouraging and damaging your mental health, how damaging to your mental health it can be, having to fight for your medical problems to be taken seriously when you are paying way too much money for nothing to be actually done. So if you're out there dealing with anything like this, don't be afraid to tell your doctor they ain't shit and gaslight them right back. Thanks for reading. Tea time gets me through every bad day and always gives me something to look forward to. I've been listening since day one. Oh, that's so cute. And I'm so excited for how far it's come. Hope to make it to a live show one of these days. P.S. I know you love photos. I included both some rash, viewer discretion advised. One of the bladder lining I pissed out.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh
Wait.
So this is just her, like, these are just like, looks like she was just cut.
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Like we saw in the
Yeah.
images,
Yeah. That's still, God, thank you so much for taking the time to write that in. And like,
yeah, God,
that
it's
must have been hard to like
uncomfortable.
relive. Oh, it just went away, Bunk. But thank you so much for writing us in.
Just like rashy, bumpy, rashy, horrible.
Oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. That's awful. And not only are you dealing with all of this, with all of these health conditions, but then you're also going through emotional turmoil.
It's her
It
bladder.
looks like a little eggy fetus.
That upset me more than I thought it would.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that hard for you to look
Oh,
at?
Lee, I wouldn't ever
Lee-
want to upset
Lee's
you.
he's just such a feminist that it's hard for him to look at when women are in pain.
Yeah, unless they're in a dog bowl.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, when I was in college,
Ugh.
I had strep so much, and I kept asking my doctor if I could get my tonsils out.
Yep.
And I just had repeated strep over and over and over. I would have it like 4 or 5 times a year. And then it got to a point where it was never going away. And I was begging. I was like, can I just get my tonsils out? She's like, they're not big enough. They're not big enough.
Yeah.
And so then I saw another doctor and he looked, he's like, no, these need to come out.
That happened actually with me too.
And
Yeah.
Really?
and then I got my tonsils out and I wasn't sick. Didn't
You
even
never
get
got sick anymore.
I didn't even get a cold for 3 years.
That dude.
Fuck, I wish I had my fucking tonsils
I had the
out.
same shit. I'd always had strep throat. Always, 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 always. Huge tonsils, always infected. And doctors were always like, nah, it's fine. And then like before I got off my mom's insurance, I was like, I need these out. And finally, of course, at Cedars, they were like, we'll take them out for you, Sister Queen. Greatest hospital.
Yeah, so it was absolutely insane. Like I was for 2 years, I never didn't have strep.
Yes, me too.
I was
always sick.
Yeah, and she just kept giving me different medicines
Mhm.
because then amoxicillin stopped working. So then the Z-Pack, and then the Z-Pack stopped working, and then this.
Yeah.
And even when as far back as when I was in high school, I got strep twice a year.
Yep.
And so
Jesus
amoxicillin stopped
Christ.
working. And that's how I found out I was allergic to sulfa drugs, is because they gave me this sulfa-based drug and I had an allergic reaction to it and I had to go to the ER for that. And so yeah, I just had strep my whole life, and then I was
Did you
begging,
get
begging,
tonsil
begging.
stones?
Not that I know of.
Ugh, they were so gross.
You had them? Did you like pop them out?
Yeah, so fun to pop out.
Ew.
Yeah, so gross. They're like they get like little pockets in your tonsils and you could pop them out with like
Ew.
Q-tips and they smelled really bad. Like little white stones.
Ugh. Did you get it? So did you get strep as a kid?
All the time.
Some of my earliest memories are having strep.
Me too.
Like in the
strep and ear
summer.
infections.
Doesn't that give you like the white dots in your
I
mouth?
got ear
Mhm.
infections too. Yeah, I would always get strep and ear infections.
Yeah.
Because they're connected. And
Oh,
I
really?
only had one doctor ever admit to me that you can get strep and you can get ear infections from strep. Only one doctor ever admitted it to me.
Okay, you know what? Well,
Mhm.
it's kind of in the same vein as that, but like about how things are connected when they keep happening like that. One thing that I was noticing for over a few stories is a lot of the women that had cysts were fainting and passing out.
Mhm.
That's another interesting thing. One of our friends gets horrific fucking cysts.
Yeah, she does.
It's like gnarly. It has had to be hospitalized for them.
Yeah.
Did she pass out from it?
No.
No.
She just is in a lot of like chronic pain.
But one of my other friends that gets them from back home, she does. But I wish there was like more studies on women's health so we could figure out, or like maybe it's
Hey,
already
guess
out there
what?
and I
There's
just don't know.
0 on women's health.
Oh my God, there was this horrific documentary on Hulu about procedures gone wrong on women. And there used to be this like metal grate. It looked like a screen that they would put like underneath the skin where women pee. I don't know exactly how it would work, but like they would put like this
metal meshing.
Yeah, this metal mesh, I guess, to like help with like women's bladders. But like every single woman that got it done, like it became extremely infected, and a lot of them had to get like their uteruses taken out, or like they have to pee out of bags now. Like
I think
permanently
that's
fucked them
wild.
up.
I think I've seen ads for a class action suit against metal meshing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. No, they don't do it anymore. But it's so like, I mean, just like horrible that this
What-
is like allowed to fucking happen.